Talking of girl groups as costumes, perhaps you will instantly think of either the bubbly colorful concept or the sexy kinda cool style. However, as more and more Gen 4 acts enter the game, they have proven that fashion can be as diverse as they want. And even with the same girl crush concept, they could still add in their own subtle yet signature details that no one could copy. If you haven't watched part 1, you can check it out right here before jumping into our second part. Number 1. New Jeans. High teen, preppy, and hip-hop. Despite being among the youngest acts of K-pop and even just debuting under a subsidiary company of HYBE, New Jeans could still take the internet by storm and become the hottest topic in town. Koreans now meet each other. Instead of saying, "Hello, how are you" these days, people will say, "Aren't New Jeans so cute, everyone?" According to many, a big reason making them fall in love with New Jeans was their impressive dress style that is not often seen in K-pop these days. Instead of hopping on the girl crush trend, where outfits highlighted by bold cutouts are preferable, New Jeans pursues a completely different style, as their wardrobe portrays a perfectly harmonious mix of 3 famous fashion senses that have been taking the world by storm recently: high teen, preppy, and hip-hop. Despite pursuing styles that have been a great part of the Western culture, New Jeans could still portray their Asian teenagers vibe through subtle details like hairstyle and makeup looks. Among their MVs, netizens picked Attention to be the one that expressed New Jeans' signature style best. And when Adore released the MV, some said they still remembered vividly how nostalgic the girls reminded them of K-pop Gen 2 just by their high-teen dress sense. Slim-fit tank tops and t-shirts mixed with low-rise sweatpants and baggy trousers. It seemed like ages since people last saw such a bright and youthful style popularized again in K-pop. But for the past 6 years, this industry has been bombarded with tons of sassy, badass, and revealing outfits. Not only that, the way New Jeans' outfits are always colorful and diverse, rather than having the same theme with a few alterations for each member, also served as a huge plus point for their image. According to netizens, the frequent incorporation of baseball and basketball shirts, running gym shorts, as well as eye-catching sneakers also helped accentuate the hip-hop, Western youngsters, and refreshing vibe of New Jeans. However, as the combo of neutral fashion sense could never be completed without the lovely kiss of preppy outfits, New Jeans has also chosen this style to bring up on their cookie performance. A little bit different from the playful, naive, and energetic image portrayed in Attention and Hype Boy, New Jeans opted for a chicer, classier, more Queen Bee and Clueless-inspired look. For example, most of the members were dressed in skirts, white shirts, and formal blazers. Accessories like big hoop earrings, baby claw clips, and colorful bracelets or rings are also replaced by formal accessories like neckties and slim suspenders. Even the shoes of the girls were also particularly chosen to best portray this chic, preppy, and classy vibe, as instead of sneakers, they now had knee-high plain tights with extremely chic loafers on. Overall, New Jeans was said to indeed be the new breeze of K-pop, because never once have netizens seen such a girl group that could make people feel fresh and nostalgic at the same time through their outfits. Some noticed the jeans in New Jeans was also probably chosen to accentuate their US-inspired vibe, because for ages, jeans have been among the most famous symbols of the States. Number 2. In Mix. Styled blazer, shoulder pads, lots of stickers, badges, and brooches. Besides being said to have released tracks that are extremely unique, and also extremely incomprehensible to a great extent, In Mix is also said to have a dress sense that is completely distinctive to their peers. The most interesting thing is that, while In Mix follows the girl crush concept like many other acts in K-pop, they still had subtle signature details to add to each stage costume, creating a formal yet extremely fun look. For example, while they also mixed and matched crop tops with shorts and skirts like any other girl group, they portrayed a more serious, classy, and cultured look by wearing cropped, styled blazers with shoulder pads. In fact, slim-fit blazers have always been a huge part of In Mix's image, because throughout their debut era, this was the staple item of their wardrobe when they appeared both in MVs and on music shows. However, as they are an active Gen 4 with almost all members under 20, such blazers would need a fun, colorful twist to rejuvenate the theme. This is also when a bunch of colorful accessories like gemstones, charms, bows, badges, brooches, and fabric stickers came in and combined these two contrasting styles together. With such a creative touch, In Mix has invented their very own fashion sense that no other groups have ever done before. Professional yet playful, formal yet also versatile. Number 3. Chocomi. Colorful, extra, movie/cartoon inspired. Despite debuting as the subunit of WJSN, Chocomi has still managed to garner great attention, as not only their music is super duper fun to listen to, but their stage costumes are also unique and appealing. Rather than choosing between two extremes of either the cute, bubbly image or the badass girl crush theme, Chocomi geared into a completely different concept of costume, in which colorful, extra cutesy, and anime-inspired costumes are preferred more than anything. Even when Chocomi wore ordinary items like crop tops, skirts, and shorts, the girls could still maintain their signature aura by incorporating extra accessories. However, the best thing about Chocomi's unique fashion sense is that, while they always bring onto their stage the most colorful and flashy items, never once have they made the performance tawdry and peasant. Instead, netizens said they always look forward to the appearance of Chocomi, and every time they watched the girls on stage, they would always feel as if they were watching adorable dolls stepping straight out of comics to sing and dance in real life. Netizens also voted for the outfit that best represents Chocomi's signature style. And according to them, it was none other than these sophisticated dresses inspired by the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland. Because this character's outfit in the movie is extremely flamboyant and heavily influenced by the Victorian style, no one ever thought Chocomi could bring them onto weekly music shows, as the girls could hardly ever dance and sing in such outfits. However, they managed to do what was initially thought impossible. And rather than sticking to the original long puffy gown, they opted for short sleeveless dresses, combat boots, and more modern hairstyles. Yet the Red Queen vibe remained perfectly, as they wisely incorporated her symbols into their fits, such as the black, red, white color palette, pips, big black bows, and most importantly, the poker cards that represent the Queen's power in the movie. Cartoon-inspired themes are also frequently used in Chocomi's outfits, as some other most iconic sets of them that could be named are these Barbie cowboy designs, Superwoman dresses, Winter Russian girls as costumes, and Dutch girl-inspired outfits. While their style seems too much for K-nets to handle, time has proven that lots of people are huge fans of their fits. The public even voted for Chocomi to be among the top best-dressed girl groups in K-pop. And at the beginning of this year, the act was even said to have reinvented stage outfits for their great investment in costumes for every stage. Number 4. Stacy. Sequin, light-capturing, tartan pattern, ruffle, puffy skirts. Most recently, Stacy has been called a used-to-be rising star. And in the comments section, where most people agreed that the group was going downhill, one remark with about 300 upvotes said one of the reasons Stacy failed came down to their mid-agency smell, and that they could start over again by changing the coordies. While it's hard to tell whether their stage outfits were actually that bad because beauty is subjective, this has implicitly proven that Stacy's fashion sense was unique enough for netizens to single them out from the rest in K-pop. Though, according to some, this sense had a strong smell of mid-agency. Why? Well, most of the reasons came down to their coordies' preference for extra patterns and clothing materials, namely sequins, vibrant tartan, and super-duper puffy skirts. According to some, Stacy has worn lots of sequin light-capturing outfits since the debut era, and that unfortunately made some people believe that Stacy was trying to elevate their look with flashy outfits to draw as much attention as possible. Just like the saying goes, as empty vessels make the most noise. Obviously, that sounds unnecessarily deep, but still, people said what they wanted to say. The act was also super into the tartan pattern, and even before it was wildly favored by K-pop artists, Stacy had already incorporated this style into their wardrobe frequently. Especially during the promotion of ASAP and Stereotype, outfits with tartan patterns were their staple picks, as from crop tops, skirts, shorts, to even dresses, tartans were in everything they wore and everywhere they went. In their most recent comeback, ruffle puffy skirts were also frequently worn by the girls. However, their looks weren't repetitive, since Stacy knew how to give a little twist here and there, versatilely switching the materials back and forth among various fabric kinds: denim, chiffon, chiffly, satin, and cotton. The length and puffiness of each skirt or dress also greatly varied from one stage to another, keeping the girls' image fresh and interesting, while still sticking consistently with their image. So, which group's fashion sense is the most impressive in your opinion? Do you know any other groups with just as unique of a style which haven't yet been named? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching.